um, and it's called the Apocalypse of Africa. And you know, there's a video out there, um, and it's called the Apocalypse of Africa. And it gave various dimensions about Africa and what Africa have been through from the West or from specifically America. But I'm going to focus on Liberia. And I urge every one of you Liberians to watch that video. It is called The Apocalypse of Africa.
The following is conversation 9-17.
The Africans just can't run things. That's a very, very fundamental point.
More people need to watch this, and we need to spread the word to other Liberians and other people in general about this documentary.
For Patricia Nixon, the new year begins with a unique role for the First Lady, greeted in Liberia as a visiting head of state by President-elect William Tolbert.
We consider it a great honor and a source of personal pleasure to recognize in our midst the presence of Mrs. Richard M. Nixon, who is attending these ceremonies in the capacity of personal representative of her husband, President Richard M. Nixon, our great and good friend.
Liberia is really important, let's say, just country or state over there that really the U.S. was able to use to kind of get its tentacles in other parts of the continent.
We had this long-term strategic interest in Liberia, such as it was. We had a listening post. We had overflight rights that were important for various covert operations in Africa, refueling rights at Monrovia, which were important for the Navy, and of course this huge Firestone interest in rubber.
The U.S. is not our friend for our benefit. The U.S. is our so-called friend for their benefit and their continuous presence on the African continent.
And there was the assumption, that we'd owned every government up to that point. We were going to own every government from there on.
It is very important in this time of our history, the Liberian history, to get to know the true information, the true story about Liberia.
And this is very important for Liberians. I'm speaking particularly to the journalists and the bloggers who continue to write a narrative, right? And I understand, there are corrupt actors, but writing and extolling the U.S. and calling for U.S. intervention is very dangerous. It always comes at a price.
Strictly national interest. Do we want influence with these people? Do we want to make money at the same time? Do we want our people to be there as a listening post? And if you sell weapons, you need people there for technical assistance and so on. No, it's a very practical matter of influence.
So U.S. guns don't kill people.
Well, of course they do, but that's the price you pay.
This country called Liberia, this really territory of the United States, and knowing how it's always been a pawn of the U.S. Once you start understanding that, then kind of like the small gripes or the horizontal issues that we have with each other, I think will dissipate. So Liberians really need to be aware of the history of the relationship between, like the Liberian country and the U.S. specifically.
Look, folks, we have to tell the true story about Liberia, okay? We have to be able to face like America about what she has been doing in Liberia. Because if we don't do that, right, America will continue to do what she has been doing to Liberia and what she's still doing to Liberia.
the United States didn't know what was going on in Liberia, it couldn't have known what was going on anywhere in the world. It's just not reasonable. It's not conceivable that the United States didn't know exactly what was going on and what was going to go on.
And by the way, we are not here to convince you to accept what we already know or what we are here to tell you, right? But we are just giving you some hints, and you can go and find out about the information, all right? But this documentary, The Apocalypse of Africa, will give you a foundational understanding of the history of Africa, specifically as well Liberia. It is
very concerned about the outside. Finally, I remain very concerned about the outsized influence of the United States in our transitional justice process. We must forge new strategic partnerships based on mutual benefits and disabuse ourselves of the notion that we have a special relationship with America. Truth be told, this special relationship only exists in our imagination. We forget. Lest we forget. The United States was one of the last countries to recognize our independence. Lest we forget. The United States has taken more from us than it has given. Lest we forget. The United States will always serve its own interests above all else. Once we accept these truths, we will appreciate that a reimagined Liberia is nobody's stepchild.
Finally, someone shares my perspective. Rapture Ninja Pali delivered a scathing speech on July 26, Liberia's Independence Day, leaving no one safe in the audience. Her words were so unflinchingly honest that the United States delegation felt compelled to exit the ceremony before she could even finish. This reaction is all too familiar. When you dare speak truth to power, you are often met with dismissal, insults, threats, or baseless accusation of being a paid agent, as I have experienced firsthand. But Rapture's courage in speaking truth to power is a testament to the impact one voice can have. The truth was so hard to swallow that they felt compelled to issue a statement after disrespecting our nation by walking out of a significant state ceremony. The irony is palpable. They touted the so-called $163 million the U.S. invests in Liberia annually. Yet, this investment has yielded no tangible results. No infrastructure to speak of, no roads, no bridge, no factory. Meanwhile, our country's valuable resources, iron ore, rubber, timber, and more, continue to be extracted and exported without benefiting our people. This is the context that makes the next part of her speech so concerning to me.
Lawmakers, I implore you, I appeal to you to revise our decent work bill. Change the monthly minimum wage from $143 to at least $250 United States dollars, and reverse Liberia's so-called harmonization policy. Because a country that pays its average worker below average salary is setting itself up for failure.
This is indeed true, as evident in the CDC administration's struggle to secure a second term. The so-called harmonization policy imposed upon us by Western powers has hindered our progress and perpetuated poverty. This external interference has stifled our economic growth and undermined our sovereignty, making it challenging for our government to succeed.
We forget. We forget. The United States was one of the last countries to recognize our independence. Lest we forget, the United States has taken more from us than it has given.
Fellow Liberians, regardless of your political affiliation, can you honestly deny the truth in these words? Though it's a hard pill to swallow, we must acknowledge the reality. For over centuries, the United States have profited more from our resources than it have invested in our nation. Our rubber industry is a stark example. Despite generations of labor, not a single rubber factory has been established in this country. Instead, the U.S. has exploited and abused our resources, leaving us questioning our own identity and sense of purpose.
Do you want to be remembered for condoning lawlessness or respecting the rule of law? In regards to the former, you have made some mistakes along the way. From the tenured positions debacle to the appointments of questionable characters in key positions of trust, you know who they are. To the controversy of what I call Yellow Machine Gate. I urge you to course correct before you lose the confidence of the Liberian people.
This was a bold and direct critique of President Bouakai, delivered straight to his face. Despite Liberians' repeated complaints about his administration, disregard for the law, and rampant corruption, he had never been held accountable. However, someone finally had the courage to confront him directly, leaving him with no recourse but to listen. For once, he was forced to face the harsh reality of his leadership, and it was a moment of unvarnished truth. Rotel Nije Pali, you are my sister for life. The day is coming when America will not make decisions for us anymore. The day is coming when America will not have to interfere into our political affairs anymore.
Shell, who says it's
a day is coming when America will not have to interfere into our electoral decisions.
In Northeast Africa, precisely on the Horn of Africa.
All right. Good afternoon, folks. Once again, this is Frank. I am your host. This is the Revolutionary Repatriation Educational Lecture Series as part of WCC every Sunday at 1 p.m. This is where we are unapologetic of what we say and what we know and what we have researched. This is not a platform where we are ashamed to speak the truth. This is not a platform where we are trembling and afraid to speak the obvious. This is a different generation. And to those who have not yet come to the realization of old days cannot intertwine with new days. Let me repeat that again. For those of you so-called Negro or slave who have not yet come to the realization of old days cannot intertwine with new days. Or let me make it clear for you. Let me be precise. For those of you who still have that colonial mentality, that slavery mentality, to those of you who still think that this is 1822, you cannot intertwine with those who are thinking that, wait a minute, this is 2024. And that is why we are unapologetic of anything we say, because you know what? We don't speak with opinion. Now, let me make something clear before we get into it. I am a Pan-Africanist. And to those of you who will be here to watch today, or to those of you who will watch the recording, let me send this signal and warning to you. Do not watch it if you are not a Pan-Africanist. Do not watch it or listen if you are a bourgeoisie. It is not for you. Do not watch it or listen to it if you have a slave mentality. It's not for you. Do not watch it or listen if you cannot defend a nation in Africa, or you cannot defend Liberia, or you cannot defend a continent, but rather you are there to defend the colonialist and the colonialist nation. This is not for you. Take your exit and leave. Because we're unapologetic. We're not even telling you, oh, please, don't, or just listen, or you know what? No, those days are over. We are not apologizing to anyone to listen to us. We are not apologizing. We are not, look, we are not going to talk softly or sweet. We care less to do with that. We have done that for 177 years in Liberia. I repeat, we have done that for 177 years, speaking softly to the thief, speaking softly to the devil. It is over. So, if you are still here who want to speak softly to your slave master, then take your exit. This place is not for you. Go to a different platform where you can speak softly, where you can be obedient to your slave master. But we are here to tell you this generation is 2024 generation. There's a new generation and not an old generation, because we know the truth. Now, you know, Liberia just had an Independent Day. Okay? On the 26th of July, so-called 1847. And you know, there was a lady who spoke, and she spoke well. Raptel Pele. If I'm pronouncing your name right. If I'm not, then I'm sorry. But let me say this before I even go into it. This has been one of the best speech of our independence since 1847. The so-called independent, me, I don't honor it. And I know my reason. Now, since 1847, this has been, I would say, the best Independent Day speech ever told by a non-politician. Since 1847, this has been the best Independent Day speech ever told. Now, to some of our past governmental or government and present government officials, you know, I am not here for them. Sorry. Yes, I'm in a mood today. I'm in a mood. So I'm kicking it all around. I am not here for them today. I am here for the Liberian who are open-minded, and to those who do not have the opportunity to know what we know. If only they can give us their undivided attention and believe us and take what we are about to give them. And not the so-called politicians who are bashing this girl, not the idiots, not the slave politicians who are saying this girl attacked the U.S., this girl, she was unprofessional, this girl, she was dead, she was not diplomatic, this girl, she shouldn't have talked to America, or on that kind of a diplomatic stage and whatsoever. Let me ask them. This speech of this girl was never about America. Let me say this clear. This speech of Independence Day was never about America. This speech of Independence Day was about Liberia and Liberian. And there was many points given. But you know, when you have these slaves in offices, these slaves who think they are educated, they took one line, one statement of an entire speech that went for 45 minutes. And then they make it seem that this girl was talking about America. How can this girl talk about America for a speech that lasted for about 45 minutes? So do you want to tell me she just took one line, okay, one word or sentence, and then repeated it over and over for 45 minutes? You idiots! That's a slave mentality. That's a slave way of talking and thinking. A speech that went for 45 minutes, about 45 minutes. And you took one line that she made, one statement that she made, and then you base the entire speech on this one statement, on this one line, when she have given numerous points. In there, you didn't look at it. But you know, these are the failed politicians since 1847, and their so-called descendants stay in power. Okay? They are the one coming out bashing this girl because they fear the country. They do not want for the ordinary citizen who don't know the reality to get the truth, to say, you know what, our representatives have failed us, our senators have failed us, the executive branch have failed us, the judiciary branch have failed us. And the educated people in the country have failed us. They don't want you to understand that, and they are coming and focusing a line, a statement that this girl said, and they're putting it on America and to say the whole speech was based about America. First of all, it was disrespectful for the American diplomat to walk out of our Independence Day celebration. It was disrespectful. It was wrong. It was unprofessional for her to leave. Would that happen in America here? And the Liberia ambassador in the U.S. went to the Independence Day celebration, and the U.S. made statement. I'm not talking about the speeches about Liberia. The U.S. made statement about Liberia, about the injustices, okay, she faced from Liberia, about what Liberia have done that she don't like. Will that ambassador of Liberia in the U.S. walk out? How dare he or he tried? If he or she walk out, the next day she will be ran, or he will be ran out of this country here and totally replaced. If not, they might even take your embassy, because it will look unprofessional to them that you have to walk out of their Independence Day celebration just because you did something that they did not like. And then I see you so-called Negro and empty-headed bashing this girl on Facebook. Oh, she was unprofessional. Oh, she was not this. We are 177 years old. Do you know how long we have been complaining to the U.S.? Do you know how long the U.S. have heard and not listening to us? That was the best time to embarrass her. I don't know if that's an embarrassment, but I don't call it an embarrassment, because the speech was not even about the U.S. The speech was about Liberia being a sovereign nation, and Liberia coming together and putting a difference aside. The speech was about, since the foundation, the founding days of Liberia, there was never solidarity, there was never unity. That was what the speech was about, and you taking it out of context. You taking it out of context. The speech was about how we came from 1847, from 1 year, 2 years, until 177 years. Do you know how many decades is that? Do you know how many people have come and gone and never even enjoyed their nations? Do you understand that have been one of the best speech ever told in a Liberian Independence Day celebration? A nation that was divided since its founding. You think we don't know what we're saying here? Some of you people don't understand the deep hypocritical relationship between the U.S. and Liberia. You think it's about unity, it's about love. And then when somebody pointed out, and then you sit down, America gave $163 million. Let me say that first of all, it's a pocket change, it's a chicken change. In fact, it's an insult. $143 million because some of you don't understand figures, and some of you are corrupt because you are afraid of America that it will sanction you. So you try to be like, this, oh, you think America will get done for that? When they want to deal with you, they will deal with you. They do not care. They do not care whether you criticize your people or not. They do not care whether you love your people or not. They do not care whether you can throw your people on a bus and do what to them. They don't care. You can do all of that. The day you do not answer to their call, everything you have done for them is cost 90. So some of you are afraid. And that is why he's sitting down there, bashing this guy with everything she said in there. Let's look at the speech. I don't want to waste my time. But we will dissect the speech as we go on. And then we have some stupid lawmaker idiots, like the other one they call Musa Belete or who? Who are you? Where you came from? Have you listened to America giving speech about her nation? Have you listened to it? I urge you to go and look for the Independence Day speeches of America, and you see what they say in there. Idiots, it's crazy. That entire speech was nothing pointing finger about America this. It was about you. Because you people have failed our nation, and she measured you guys out. And then you want to take the attention away for people to blame you people to put on America. For us to blame her? Hell no. This is 2024 generation. It's not going to happen. And we will put America in her right place. In her right place. And let me say this as a warning to America. Let me say this as a warning. If you still want to have place in Liberia, I have said this before, and I will say it again. If you still want to have place in Liberia, United States, you don't even know what is coming, man. You don't understand what is coming. If you still want to have place in Liberia, do not listen to the old folks. Do not listen to the old generation. Do not listen to those who have been carrying on those colonial policy. Do not listen to them. That time is over. That time is over. Listen to the voice of the new generation. Do not listen to those who still have that slave mentality. They will not help you. In this current time, US is not going to help you. Okay? It's not going to help you. And by the way, I'm going to bring out an article here that came from the so-called American diplomat in Liberia, talking about annually we get 163 million to Liberia. That's a BS. That's a BS. Just our deep sea port that you use day and night. If we want to charge you, I'm not talking about the resources, just the deep sea port where you have your submarine right now. If we want to charge you, you know how many will charge you per year? You're talking about we get Liberia $163 million. You know what? The wrong people are in power. That's why your mouth running like a running water. That is real right people get in power. Then you will understand if 163 million is a money. You will understand if 163 million is a money. You will understand. You will understand. Just where you have your submarine, just our deep sea port, we don't even have access to it. You know how many you're supposed to be paying to use our deep sea port per day? Do you know how many you're supposed to pay? And we're talking about 360 days or 365 days around the globe. You use it. And you talk about we gave Liberia 363 million. Is that money? Is that money? That is, in fact, that is not even a money for a city. A city budget in the US. Is that money? You need cheer. Is that money? Just a city budget in the US. 163 million is just a pocket change for a city in the US. And we're talking about a nation. Then you talk about we get Liberia 163 million United States dollar a year. Our deep sea port that you use to carry on your clandestine activities on the African continent, to spy on Africa. We allow you to use it. You have access to it all year round. If we want to charge you per day, per night, do you know how much you'll be paying? Are you thinking? Are you know crazy? Or because we have the wrong people in power who think they know and they don't know? Those idiots. A time is coming, US. Be mindful. The time is coming and the time is here. Be mindful. Don't mess with the wrong generation. You have to change your attitude. First of all, I don't want to make that speech about you, but I'm just talking about it because we have some idiots who are taking a whole speech, okay, and taking it out of context and making it about America when the speech was not about America. The speech was not about America. It was not about her. If you listen to the speech, it was not about her. But you know, I don't blame those people because there is something called comprehension. So they listen, they don't comprehend what is being said. They don't even know their own history. That is why it is very hard for them to digest what was said in our speech. If only they know their history, if only they know what that guy know, they will not come on Facebook and speaking rubbish. But let's get into the speech. I'm ready for them today. Let Bassett this speech. It's actually about 45 minutes, but I'm going to try my best and skip it some kind of way. All right?
Good morning.
Sorry, folks. Before the speech, right? Let me bring out something quick. I want to make reference, even though she talked about it in the speech, right? But this is one area people do not understand English. The white man English that they feed the black man feed, they know so much where they don't understand. All right. Let me make that point, and then before we get to the speech, because these are the things that they are looking out. And hold on, let me pull it out, and then we will go about it. Hold on, I beg. Let me pull something out here quick. We're going to get to the speech, but hold on. Let me do something here quick. All right. Now, there is something, right, I want you to get right here. So I'm going to read it, all right? It says, when I think of Liberia birth as a nation, I often picture fists of all shapes and sizes raised in the earth, because our Declaration of Independence on July 26, 1847 was a revolutionary act of deviance. Now, many people do not understand what she meant by deviance in this context. And that is why reading is based on context. You cannot, look, if you are not interviewed, or if you do, like, for example, some of us, we already know what she meant by this here, right? In this context of deviance, right? Now, if you just take deviance, you generalize it, you're going to get it off the topic. You have to know where she is. You have to understand her position. And this is why a lot of people missing and saying she was rude, she attacked, she this, she that. They do not understand the community to which she was standing in speaking. They do not understand the perspective from which she came from. They do not understand her struggle, her thoughts, her level of knowledge of the subject matter. They do not understand. And that is why if you don't have idea, If you don't have knowledge of certain thing, ask question first. Don't just see a word because you learn it from dictionary and think that word might mean differently. The understanding or definition of that word might means differently in our context, in our forum, in our community, in our area, in our setting. Just because you see deviance, don't go and define it. You have to define it in the context to which it was spoken. Now, let me make this clear. When she said, because our declaration of independence on July 26, 1847 was a revolutionary act of defiance, what that means is the United States disobeyed our independence. The United States did not listen to our independence. The United States turned a blind eye to our independence. We thought it was a revolutionary, how they call it, independence, that we were getting independent, but meanwhile, it was not. They did not honor it. The United States did not honor it. The United States did not honor that independence. They were disobedient to our independence. They did not accept our independence. You see, you have to understand where she came from. But most of you do not know your history. And that is what Marco Garvey said. One who does not know his or her history is like a tree standing by the bank of a river, but do not understand the importance of that river. And at the end of the day, that tree is dying from water. Even though she made it clear in her speech, but people do not or did not still get it because they do not understand or do not know their history. Now we'll take this out and go to the main speech. Let me take this out.
Everyone, my heart is so filled this morning. Thank you so much for the incredibly generous introduction, Princess. Knowing that Princess is going to follow me in leadership makes me feel very, very confident in the future of this country. All protocols observed. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. As someone who loves this country with every fiber of my being, I feel very honored and privileged to address you today. When I think of Liberia's birth as a nation, I often picture fists of all shapes and sizes raised in the air like this.
Now, sorry folks, we're going to be going back and forth, right? Because we got to break this speech down. Because a lot of our people do not understand. Even our politicians do not understand. And for them to go and learn from this girl, they are not doing it, but rather sit down and think that they know more than this girl. They should go and learn from this girl. They should go and be taught by this girl. Now, when I think of our independence, I think about a fist. You know what I came from? That means when she think about that independence, let's be frank here. Let make this clear. At that time of 1822, right, the people that was there already, the original people that was already there, right, they did not understand anything of a struggle. In fact, they were not thinking about independence because at that time, it was not Liberia. At that time, Africa was not divided. We're talking about 1822 here. Africa was not divided. Africa was just Africa. Africa was divided 1884 Berlin Conference. But equally so, during the time period of 1822, right, the French, the British, the German, the Portuguese, they were all on the African continent around the period of 1822, right? They were there. But at that time, Africa was not divided yet. But they have already mapped Africa in their head, okay? In their head, they have mapped Africa because they have taken strategic areas, okay? So the French knew where they were basing, and the German couldn't go there. The German knew where they was, and the French couldn't go there, okay? The English knew where they were, right? And the Portuguese, just like that. But at that time, they have not yet drew, how they call it, demarcation or jurisdiction. All right? So now, this fish you put out like this, it did not apply to the native men. All right? Let's be frank here. We're going to break this speech down today. The speech is not about America, okay? We're going to break it down. Now, that fish you put out, it is not pertaining to the native men or the people they met there. All right? It is. It was pertaining to the men and women who came from the United States through slavery, through torture, okay? Who felt that, you know what, when we go to the African continent, we're going to gain our independence, right? We're going to liberate, we're going to integrate with the people that are there and fight for our independence. Because they understood the struggle of freedom in this land. Even though we understand how they were taken to Liberia, they were not free. They did not go there by their own will. Okay? They went there because of coup d'etat here. And they used them, Washington, D.C. used them to have a territory in Africa, just how by that time the French was there, the English was there, or today Sierra Leone, okay, today Nigeria, today Ghana, okay? That was when America now had place in Africa at that time. But they used these people to establish their own territory. So when she put that face up, right, the people that left from here, they understood freedom. What freedom means, what struggle means, what captivity means. That's where that face came from. Okay? Let's continue here.
Because our Declaration of Independence on July 26, 1847 was a revolutionary act of defiance.
Okay, was a revolutionary defiance. At that time, the native men that was there did not understand about revolution. Did not understand about a struggle and thing, right? Now, that is not to say we never had tribal conflicts and all of those things. All right, but in this context of what she's speaking on, the native men did not understand at that time. All right, no, it was not. It was not like that, because at that time the European only base, okay, along the river, the sea, because that was the only means of traveling at that time, because there was no road for car to pass and all of those things. So the means of communication were only through boat, okay, or canoe. So they travel along the sea or along river. Okay, so the tribal men or the native men that was deep in a, how they call it, deep, far from the sea or the ocean, they did not even understand at that time what was going on here. Let's continue here.
Back then, when blackness was synonymous with bondage, we Liberians dared to be free. Inspired by
our folks, the speech is so intense, right? So it's like every word that came from her mouth, every line, it actually has meaning. Okay, every line, everything that came from her mouth have meaning. Only those who actually know what she's talking about will understand. And that's why you will see me going back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, because everything that came from her mouth have meanings. It's intense. She have done a lot of research. She knows what she's talking about that we know as well. When she talk about bondage, who came from bondage at that time? It was the people that came from here, that came from bondage. And when they went back down there, right, they never got integrated because Washington, D.C. have programmed them. They were still slaves. So when they went, they did not integrate. So what then happened? That bondage, they went, they put the people who they made there into that bondage again. So later on in the line of speech, you will hear that the division of this country, it was never united. It came from 1822 or 1847. The reason why people are finding it difficult to understand what she's saying down there, it is because this current generation do not understand the history of their own nation. Because if you do, oh my God, you will go and put this girl on your back for her being brave on that date. Stood over there to educate you. Let's continue here.
Haitian sisters and brothers who had led the first successful slave revolt in history, we dared to reclaim Black personhood.
And she did not only end there. What she did here was she came to Haiti. She recognized Haiti. She recognized Oliver Toussaint. She recognized the struggle of the people. That, listen, when Liberia gained her so-called independence in 1847, it was also based on the bravery of a nation called Haiti, of a small group of people called the Haitian. Oliver Toussaint, who mobilized the men and women, brave people, to fight the French. At that time, they did not only fight the French, we were also talking about the fought the Americans psychologically because it also gave momentum to the people in Richmond, Virginia to go and assassinate James Monroe. And that brought about the repatriation of rebellious slaves to Liberia. That brought about the repatriation of rebellious slaves to Liberia because after they carried on coup on James Monroe, it did not work. They captured them, they killed it, they made coup leader, and then the follower, they took them to Liberia to have a territory. So do you understand the magnitude of her speech that she's taking you back? And she's reminding those people who still think that they are Congo people. If you are saying you are Congo in this time of Liberia, you are actually saying you love being slave because the term Congo is not a good term. It's a slave term. It's a slave term. From 1822 to 2024, 177 years, and you still identify yourself with a name that does not have meaning but slave, but obedient to your slave master. Those are the meaning of being a Congo man. I'm sorry to say this, brothers and sisters. If you do not still understand the history, then they see why you bash you, come and bash me because I call you being a Congo, you are a slave. Because she's telling you right here, and we know it. That's what it means. And she's telling you those things bring divisions because you think being a Congo in a all right, so we come back, we back live again. So I don't know what's going on. There are some disruption, but again, right? They're trying to make me lose my thought, but I won't. So like I was saying, identify yourself as a Congo person That alone brings division in a country. Because if you say you are Congo, you are putting yourself out there. Because throughout the history of Liberia, the Congo people think they are better than the native men. They are educated than the native men. They carry English name. Then that means they are better. And that is why if you think that way, you are a slave. And that alone is division. Because you do not want to identify yourself with any of the tribe. Because when you do that, you think you are coming to a low class. So you prefer being out there to be among the high class by having a white man name or an English name. And these are the things that get mentioned. This speech was about Liberia and unity and being a sovereign nation. How can we unite? How can we take away those things that bring in division? That's what this speech was about. And he had these idiots taking a speech out of context and then talking about she attacked America, she do this, to do. Who cares? Have you seen American speeches talking about unity? Have you seen it? Have you seen when they are talking about unity and talking about countries that do not like their policy, or that do not like, or country that dislike them? Have you seen them speaking? Do you see American, after the speech, American come out to say, oh, you spoke this against this country, you attacked this country, that wasn't good, that wasn't that was, have you seen it? Instead of you to congratulate this girl, and you are there. You see, we black people, right? We are the one to kill our people. We are the one to always be part of the demise of those who love us, of those who want changes. We are the one to always be part of their demise. Let's continue.
Decades later, when our beloved continent was being carved up in the European scramble for Africa.
For those of you who don't know, she's not just talking about the 1884 Berlin Conference. She's talking about the 1916 or the 14th century, the 16th century. Okay? All the way to the 19th century. When slavery was going on, they took away our continent. They took our manpower. They destroyed our culture. They destroyed our heritage. For those of you who are taking this speech out of context, crazy and stupid people who think they are educated, they don't understand nothing. That is what happens when you have Western education and you forget about your own thing. And then from slavery all the way to 1884, all the way to the 1900, these are the same people who killed African revolutionary leaders directly or indirectly. And then you want to come and make this speech about America, one line or one sentence that she said about Liberia or America have benefited from Liberia more than Liberia have benefited from America. Is it lie? If anybody dispute it, then you do not understand your history. You do not understand the deep and fake relationship between the U.S. and Liberia. And that is why we challenge anybody. And you're playing with look, you guys are playing with the wrong generation. You guys are playing with the wrong generation, because we can stand here and talk about an entire book. We give you date, time without looking in our book. Don't mess with us. And that is why we challenge anyone. It could be even the so-called U.S. diplomat that was independent and walk away. And we challenge them. They should come and debate with us at any time. And they feel they get attacked them. And to the so-called Liberian horse Negro and to the so-called slave, still think that slave in Liberia, we are willing to debate them. And they think this thing is so hurtful. Come and debate us. We are ready today, tomorrow, and forever. We are ready. Let's continue here.
Swallowed whole by colonialism, we dare to be sovereign. In fact, our very existence as Africa's first Black republic inspired a race benighted. Lest we forget, our Declaration of Defiance happened nearly a century before independence movements began in earnest across this very continent. So, Liberia's Independence Day should be called In Defiance Day. Because since you like that, I'm going to repeat it. Liberia's Independence Day should be called In Defiance Day. Because 177 years ago, our foremothers and fathers defied the odds.
Now, what she said in there, to those of you who don't understand or to those Liberians, because this is about the so-called Liberian who don't know their history. What she said in there, I ask you, was it about America? And first of all, let me say this. Before she even started, right? She said the European decades, the Europeans have plundered our continent, right? She did not say Liberia, the Europeans have plundered Liberia. She talked about the Europeans. She did not just say America, right? That's the West. Then what? You guys now attacking her about, oh, you attacked Europe, you attacked West. Are you afraid to be sanctioned by America? Look at these idiots, scary people. Are you afraid to be sanctioned by America? And that's why you bash your own people. You think America will get time for that? America will sanction you. Whether you talk for them, whether you do what to this girl, America will sanction you when she's ready. She will dislike you when she's ready. America is a nation that can like you in a second and dislike you in a minute. Or in a second, they will dislike you. They can like you right now and they dislike you right now. They don't care whether you were with them, okay, for 100 years. But that one day that you decide or you decided not to agree with them, but you want to disagree with them, that one day they can sanction you. Do you understand what they did to Samuel Kanyando? Oh. You see, you don't understand what the principle of America is. If you understand, when someone speaks, you will try to analyze it. Do you understand why they went against Samuel Kanyando? But yesterday, when they and Samuel Kanyando were boarding and body in the same bed, when they and Samuel Kanyando worked together on a coup d'etat to Cape Togo, and then the next day, they moved from Biando. Then they sent another person, they worked with another person called Charles Taylor or Prince Johnson. They went to Cape Togo. Do you know how America operates? It is a nation that can dislike you and like you at any time. They can like you and dislike you at any time. They don't care about you. When they talk about patriotism in this country, then you see someone in your country who is a patriot, and then you want to kill her, you want to go against her for educating you, for speaking the truth. Are you a patriot for going against this girl? You guys are the enemy of the state. Now we know. We know you guys, and we will continue to point you guys out.
They attempted to prove that Black self-rule was not only possible, but also undeniable.
Now, these are people who did not accept Black self-rule. Is that a lie? Who was the first governor in Liberia? Who was the first governor? Another white man, Judy Ashman? Was Judy Ashman not the first governor? How can a traditional Liberian, not put it that way now, how can a traditional Liberian, a white man, leave from America 1822 and go become the governor of traditional Liberia? Does it make sense? Did you not understand where the division came from? Did you not understand what Liberia was established for? And that's the kind of deviant behavior this lady is talking about here. That's the kind of deviant behavior of the United States in Liberia. That's the kind of disobedient behavior. That's the kind of disrespectful behavior. And then we want to talk about it, and then y'all say that, yeah. Traditional Africa. A white man lived from here 1822 and went and became a governor. He died. What happened? The poison of James Maroon Thomas Buchanan, the poison of James Maroon Thomas Buchanan, they're saying that. That's the kind of deviant. Because the people who they said they were sending to Africa so that they can go to the motherland and be free, they send a white man, they said, no, these people cannot govern themselves. These people don't know how to rule themselves. So we have to carry another white man to go rule them. That's the kind of deviant behavior. Let's continue here. We'll bisect this video, even if we don't end it today because of time. We will bring this topic back again and end this video and break it down for our people.
They embraced Black internationalism long before this form of solidarity became an act of resistance. Our amalgam of different identities and cultures, West African, West Indian, Caribbean, Central African, and North American, was a radical affirmation.
Now, you understand that she's speaking from a Pan-African perspective. And those of you who don't know your history, you are not Pan-African. Because if you truly know your history, no one has to tell you to be a Pan-African. Right there, you are Pan-African. She's talking about the Caribbean, the Black Indian. Those are the true American that was here, the Black American that was here before Christopher Columbus. Right? She's calling on everybody. And these are people, for example, one of their presidents who came from Barbados, what's his name? 1940, 1904, not 1940, but 1904, who kind of recognized Liberia, the native men. Okay? His name is there, is coming, is going. He was the one that even recognized the native people in Liberia. But they were not citizens, but he just recognized them. His name was come, and when his name come, I will bring it up. I already know it. His name is going to come. But when you know the history too much, some time ago. But here in 1904, he was the one, Arthur Barclay. Very good. That was Arthur Barclay. He was the one that even recognized. But from 1822 to 1904, the native men they met there, they made them stateless. They made them stateless. So when you heard us saying our independence was deviant, you don't understand. If you know your history, you will never go against this girl. Because everything she said, from the beginning to the end, I mean, it was intense. From 1822 to 1904, Liberians were stateless. They were not citizens. It was Arthur Barclay who recognized it in 1904. Even though he did not give citizenship, you met people there. But do you know where that came from? I'm not going to blame my brothers and sisters who still call themselves Congo people, because that's how Liberia was set by Washington, D.C. after they sat down in D.C., in Washington, D.C. for 3 to 6 months to debate on where to carry the rebellious slave. And they laid down guidelines on what they were going for to have territory. And they said, they educated these people, do not go and be integrated. Do not go and be integrated by the people you're going to see there. Because if they do it, the creation of a territory, it won't happen. Because mind you, at that time, Sierra Leone was already a territory to the Great Britain, to the British. Nigeria already territory. Ghana today already territory. Right? All these places were territory. So the United States was going to go create her own territory to the rebellious slave. So do not go there and integrate yourself. That's not what you're going for. The division of Liberia, of the people, started a long time. These are the things she's talking about here. And then you want to take a line and say she's attacking America. When this lady is speaking about national unity, how can we move forward as Liberian, as people, as a nation? and you want to tear her apart. We will not allow it happen. We will tear you apart. I want to tear her apart. Because don't think she's alone. She's not alone. On that day, she was alone because she was standing out there alone speaking. But let me warn you, there are many speeches to come, not from her. You don't even know what is coming. She was there by herself on that date, but she was never alone. We were there in spirit. And don't get it twisted. There are many speeches of such, even more than that, to come. Because you get us to contend with. This is a generation that you will not mess with. And we will challenge anybody. If you want your pen and paper, take your pen and paper and come. We are not running away from you. And that's what we want. We want you to pour to the challenge.
Of Africa meeting its diasporas. This exceptional legacy is our destiny. Yet, when we talk about ourselves today and the narratives that we pass down from one generation to another.
Now, when we talk about ourselves, what she's saying here is, right, how can the white men, Europe, who colonized, who enslaved Africans, how can they come and write our narrative? She's telling us we should be the one to interpret our struggle because we went through the struggle. We went through it. We should write it. We should pass it down to generation to generation. And if we do that, we will understand our common existence, our inheritance. We will know where we are, where we came from, and where we are currently. And we will base on our national unity. And when we speak, we always speak with one mind because we will relate. And then you want to take a speech to base it on the US? That's no. Let's continue.
We tend to forget the magnitude of 1847. We forget that this glorious land of liberty was founded on abolitionist principles. We forget that dignity once defined us. Somehow, somewhere, some way, we lost touch with our common humanity. We created citizenship tiers based on ethnicity, class, gender, religion, and race.
So what she said in there, exactly, that's what we did. And people, right? People that are in society that need to do the needful thing do not want to tackle the needful thing, and they are the one bashing this girl, tearing her apart, putting it about America when she's talking about the division that a more Liberian, that this unity, a more Liberian, that national unity is not there. She's talking about how can we build it, and she challenged those lawmakers, those leaders, those authorities. She challenged them. But those are the authority, instead of them accepting the fight of their failures, they want to tear this girl apart. But guess what? Like I said, you will not tear her apart, and she will not be threatened. This is just the beginning for more to come. You want to base this about America? This is not about America. This is about Liberia. And where America falls short, we will tear her. You just starting. You just starting. We will tear America where she has fallen short in Liberia. And the reality here is America have gained more from Liberia than Liberia have ever gained from her. Liberia have gotten nothing for what America have taken from Liberia. She have gotten nothing. For example, you take $1 billion of resources and you can't give 163 million, and then you say you give us something. You take $1 billion of resources And then out of that $1 billion of resources, you come and get Liberia $163 million. And these are the things our people don't understand. But the right people will get in power. The old generation got to go.
How do we build relationships between individuals and institutions of government to serve the collective good? I have plenty ideas, a little time. So please give me a small chance, yeah? Reconceptualizing and redefining Liberian citizenship. In 2021, I published a book that investigates how Liberian citizenship has changed across space and time, and what implications this has for our development outcomes. Revolution against corruption. We must lead a values-based revolution against corruption. Abuse ourselves of the notion that we have a special relationship with America. Truth be told, this special relationship only exists in our imagination.
Now, after we're done with the video, right, after we're done with the discussion, I'm going to put the video and then it will just play. But I want to make a point. That's why I'll forward it. Now, this was the part. So the speech is launched. I mean, so far, right, from what we said, it was never about America. The speech is about Liberia to rethink about what kind of relationship do they have with America. Now, this is 177 years, right? The amount of resources America have taken from Liberia. First of all, America have the largest reserve of iron ore in the world. The largest reserve of iron ore in the world. America has it. Where did it come from? Liberia. And then you want to come and tell me that statement she made that America have gained more from Liberia than Liberia had gained from her? And then you say you want to come and tell her what? Just iron ore. America has the largest reserve of iron ore in the world, which she took from Liberia. Not that. Rubber plantation, if we are not the first, we might be the second in the world, right? Still. Come from Liberia. The firestone you see in America, the brimstone and all of those things. Right? You have in poly, plastic cups, plastic spoon, all those things. Liberia, the product from Liberia. But look at Liberia. What have America done to create factory? If we want to take the plantation from 1926, because that was the time the Firestone was founded. 1926, and in fact, if you want to get into how Firestone was established again, we can get into it. Like I said, you touch this girl, you touch all. You touch this girl, you touch all. What have Firestone done from 1926 up to 2024? Firestone have taken trillions of dollars in Liberia from rubber. And then you bring out of that trillion, you take 163 million annually and come and give it to Liberia, and you want to boast of you giving money to Liberia when Liberia questioned your relationship, being so disrespectful. The United States diplomat were disrespectful from walking out of our Independence Day celebration when we were addressing her about our concern, about our situation, about our relationship. When we question her for a diplomat to walk out of our Independence Day celebration, it was disrespectful and wrong. to our sovereignty. It was disrespectful and wrong to our sovereignty. That means she's guilty. That means what was said, she's guilty, and she could not have sat there to get the hard truth, because that's how she is. The fact that she walked out, she's guilty by conscience. She's guilty by conscience. She's guilty. And we will not relent to continue to tell the U.S. she's a hypocrite when it comes to Liberia relationship. Like we say, we are ready to sit down at any table to debate with anybody on what we say in this regard. We did not know our history, but today we know enough. You don't even understand what is going on. We are ready to debate anybody, and we keep saying it. And the most thing about it, you are looking at so young generation. You have more years to deal with us. You have long time to deal with us. You either abide or you leave. You walk out of the independent. You know what? Get out of Liberia. If it hurts you, leave Liberia. Leave. Because the matter of fact, you stay in Liberia. If it hurts you, leave. Because you're going to hear many of these things. This is not all day Liberia. This is not the territory of the U.S. 1822. Liberia. This is a different time period. If you think it hurts you and you walk out of that Independence Day celebration, then get the hell out of Liberia. Get the hell. Let me repeat it good to good. Get the hell out of Liberia. If you sure it hurts you, get the hell out. Get out. Go to where you came from. You left telling people, go to Africa where you came from. Go to where you came from if it hurts you. For real? Why are you staying in Liberia? Are you staying in Liberia? Because if you're in Liberia, you still looking at Liberia, you still seeing Liberian faces, you still seeing Liberian beaches, you still seeing Liberian beach, you still experiencing Liberian weather. Get the hell out of Liberia if you think it hurts you.
We forget. Lest we forget. The United States was one of the last countries to recognize our independence.
And that is the deviant behavior she spoke about. That is the deviant behavior, the disobedient, the disregard of the U.S. That's the deviant behavior she spoke about. Now, why you want to say she attacked the U.S., she did this? I mean, I saw a Carlos Gray, past government official, and I wrote on his post. I said, we might be on the same boat. We might be on the same boat, but this, I disagree with you. To come and say this guy attack the U.S., do you understand the magnitude of what you are saying? Do you understand the magnitude, Akaras Gray, of what you are saying, that this guy attack the U.S.? Do you understand the magnitude of that statement? This guy attack. So you are the one assassinating your own sister. Akaras Gray, you are the one attacking or assassinating your own sister by saying she attacked the U.S. When yesterday, the United States Embassy, Honor McCarthy, served as the U.S. branch of government in Liberia, running propaganda to the extent he said They have sponsored, they have invested in propaganda media into the Liberian politics, into the Liberian election, into the Liberian affair at Karas Gray. When this guy spoke truth to power, and you are the one coming here to assassinate her by saying she attacked the US. Have you listened to the United States speeches? Have you listened to United States citizens' speeches when it comes to being patriot? Have you listened to them pointing out nations that do not agree to their policy? Have you listened to them pointing out nations that disagree with, or nations that disagree with them? Or nations that their fee do not serve their interest, or nations that their fee have cheated them or are cheating them? Have you listened to their speeches? I urge you to go and listen to them. On this note, we are now on the same boat. Be careful what you say. She attacked the US. You the Chris?
Lest we forget, the United States has taken more from us than it has given.
Now, at Karas Gray, and not only at Karas Gray, there's another idiot called Belletti. These are government officials. That is what baffles me a lot. Okay? What is wrong with that to say the United States? Look, if you go to Ghana, right, the Ghanaian will address the British in the same way, because it was the British that colonized them, just how the United States colonized Liberia. It is in the same way the Ghanaian will address the British of the injustices of what the British have done to them and are doing to them. In the same way, the Nigerian, if they addressing people or nation, they will not address America, even though they might start how she started, or the European did this, or the West did this, and at the end, they will narrow it down. They will narrow it down to Nigeria, to Great Britain, because precisely it is about Great Britain. In the same way, the French, what is happening in Francophone nation, the French are going through it. With those Francophone nations, they address the French because it is about them. It is about their people. It is about their nation. So they are not addressing the U.S. If the U.S. Partake, the only time they address the U.S., it was a time the United States went into ECOWAS along with EU for them to go war on the Sahel region. That they will get the ammunition to go fight another Africans. That was when the Sahel nation, or the joint government, said they didn't mention the U.S. But they have nothing to do with the U.S. It's about the French. So in the same way, it is the U.S. that we know. So we should address the U.S. 177 years. You think the United States do not know what they are doing to Liberia? You think they do not know? And then some of you sit and say that was not the appropriate time to address the U.S. It was not the right place to address the U.S. You think 77 years? You know how many times we've been talking about it? 177 years. You know how many times we've been talking about it behind closed door? We've been talking about it in Washington, D.C. We've been talking about it on various platforms. Where should we have spoken it? Where should we have spoken this other than that particular place? And it was not the right place. It was not the right place. You go talk about that. You're supposed to talk about how in different place. That was unprofessional. It was not diplomatic. That was not a place you were supposed to speak and think. The Ghanaian too will do the same thing. The Nigerian will do the same thing. The French will do the same thing. And America is no exception. We will do the same thing and we will continue to do it and we'll put it in her face. If you want to be slave, go to the plantation. Do not do your slavery mentality in Liberia. You want to be the white man's slave, go to the plantation.
Lest we forget, the United States will always serve its own interests above all else.
Is that a lie? What she said, the United States will always serve our own interests above all interests. Is that a lie? Is that an attack? Akaras Gray, how can that be an attack? For her to say the United States will serve our own interests above all interests is a lie. The history of Liberia, the so-called relationship, the so-called diplomatic and fake relationship between the U.S. and Liberia, it have always been about interest. That is why the U.S. have always been on the side. Even if it comes to coup, the U.S. have always, all the major coup in Liberia, the U.S. have always been on the side of the coup. When they get trouble, they call the United States Embassy. And the United States Embassy said, we will support you people. What did the United States Embassy do? They supported a new form of government to change the entire system. Because they said when Toba were there, Toba were with the Russian. They have to change their whole governmental system. So she worked with the coup. Oh, now they die. Samuel Kanya do. When time came, the United States worked in her interest. She did not say, oh, Samuel Kanya do, we work with Samuel Kanya do to get Toba. So Samuel Kanya do is on our side. He's our friend. And, you know, he's our mutual, he's our great partner and stuff. So we cannot do nothing. Let's be on his side. When time came, what did they do? They found the INPF, they found the NPF, they went, they put Chastera and Prince Johnson, and they went, they get Dole. So she worked in her interest. It was not about Liberia. Is that wrong? What she said? Is that wrong? When time came again, 2024, the United States worked tirelessly to remove President George Manneh Weah. Was that in the Liberian people's interest? It is only the ignorant who don't understand will say yes. But they said all kind of a diminishing thing against this man. They lied. They sponsored propaganda media because they know Liberians like to listen to the lies. Was it in their interest? What she said is a lie? No. It was in their interest. And President George Manneh Weah is gone. Is Becca Rest done? Is FOA done? Is gas prices, are they done? Rice price, is it done? Oh, are you eating 4 or 5 meals a day coming from America now? Oh, are you living a great life that America has provided for you? Oh, 24/7. People are dying. Have you seen the American embassy talk about, oh, how Liberia are dying, how Liberia are dead? Have you seen it? Oh, have you seen America talking about the cleaning? Because during that time, we saw the so-called McCarthy running from county to county. Oh, no drugs in the hospital. George Manneh Weah is not doing this, is not doing that. Have the American people fought out all the drugstore, all the pharmacy, all the hospital in Liberia now? Have they done it? It was in their interest. Is that lie? She said American people work in their interest. If America, anything that she does not have interest, she knows she will not benefit. She had nothing to do with it. Is that lie? American got ready to remove Taylor. It It was not for Liberia business. It was not even for Sierra Leone. It was for their own thing. It come to the rubber plantation. Most of you don't understand. You don't know your history. So you never know why Charles Taylor left Liberia. You say that he's in a hitch. He's there. He's serving a time. He's there. It was for your own good again, because what he wanted for the policy of the fire suit to change for your own good. Then when they remove things, they lie to you. They use Sierra Leone and they sponsor it. Was it in your interest? It was in America's interest. You are like a tree standing by the bank of a river, and you are not flourishing. That's how you are. And you are dying, you are suffering, you look malnourished. Why are you supposed to use that water as a nutrient to flourish? That's how you are by that tree standing by the bank of the river. Let's continue here.
Once we accept these truths, we will appreciate that a reimagined Liberia is nobody's stepchild.
Is that a lie? She's saying once we accept the reality, when we accept and come to the realization, once we know our stand, once we know our struggle, once we know the true relationship between the U.S. and Liberia, once we know who we are, once we know how they think about us, once we know how they define us, once we know our importance, once we know the importance of Liberia to the U.S., because without Liberia, I can tell you, I will not say that. And not everything we can say. Yeah, it's not everything that we can say. It's not everything. But anyway, like she said, once we come to that realization, Liberia is a gold dust, a gold mine, a diamond mine in the eyes of the U.S. But you know this European, or let me put it this, America, what she do to Liberia? She will never, ever come out to tell you how important you are to her. She will never tell you. She will want you to remain ignorant. But when they say Liberia, a diamond mine, a gold mine, right? That's how that country is to the U.S. when it comes to many things. Not just in resources. When it comes to many things. So the U.S. will play a deaf ear. The U.S. will play dumb. They will play it dumb to make it look you are nothing. To make it look you are not important. Because if they think if they do it, you will know your worth. You will know your value. And now you will begin to tell the U.S. you got to step on your game. And that's where we are. Now, I'll play the video off, but let me make my point here. So that's the speech of this guy. What is in this speech that attacked the U.S.? When this guy is saying, look, the same way the United States think about her sovereignty, the same way the United States think about her patriotism, we should also do the same thing. Liberia come first over the U.S. That's what they get mean. Liberia come first over the U.S. Liberia should respect her policy to when she meet in the U.S. It should not always be yes, sir, obedient. That's a slave mentality. You can sit down there, she attacked U.S. She did this, she did that. Are you fighting U.S. battle against your own interest? Are you fighting the U.S. battle against your own interest? Yes, because now you are here to assassinate this girl. You are here, not a physical assassination, but what you're doing is actually assassination because you are here to kill her dream. You are here to kill her dream. You are here to discourage her from her bravery. You are here to discourage her from her patriotism of a nation that she loved. That was her statement she made first before even to continue with the speech. The love she had for the country. the love she has for the country. So you want to assassinate her right now. That's what you're doing. You want to kill her spirit. You want to kill her momentum. You want to kill her dream. You want to kill her determination. So that the next time when she's meeting a white man, she will be fighting to talk. Because she has a spirit that cannot be broken down. And you want to break down that spirit. Because when she's meeting a white man now, she's afraid to talk. She's afraid to represent Liberia the way in which she's supposed to represent Liberia, to say we are a nation, we are a people. We have needs, we have policy, we have goal, we have aspiration. Just like any other human being on this face of the planet, we are. You want to kill that spirit. Now when she's meeting a white man, she will not have that courage or that spirit. She's scared before she say anything again, before Akaras Gray or Musa Belete and the like come against her. So anything the white man say, yes sir, she signed it. Hey, sign here, yes sir. She will not even read it because it will make no sense for her to read it because her own people will bring her down. That's how you want to do. But guess what? You will not kill her spirit because she's not alone. That spirit she got, she's not alone. She's connected to network of a kind that you saw that day. And you're going to see many speeches to come out like that. Get used to it. The supporter of America. Now, I will take this out. I'll play at the end when we're done. But let me put one of the so-called representative here. What he said. Another idiot. Another idiot. This is another idiot. This guy here, he's a representative. And this is, in fact, this guy worked in the alien government. Another corrupt leader. Very corrupt representative. These are people who are in power. They think they know it. Very corrupt and idiot. Hypocrite. These are the kind of people that are the problem. Look what he wrote on his page. To this brilliant lady. This lady is more patriot than Musa Asa Berete. Just because you serve as a representative or senator that does not make you a patriot citizen. This girl is more patriot. This girl loves Liberia more than Musa Asa Berete. He's a representative. Folks, listen to a representative. This is another slave. Another horse Negro. Listen to what he said here. You are tearing down your own country and trying to pin the problem on America. Ridiculous. You can't even bring yourself to take responsibility. Musa Asa Berete, did you listen to the guest speech? When she turned to the House, when she turned to the Senate, when she turned to the lawmakers and questioned you, and even gave you suggestion, and even gave you advice, and gave you a lot of points. Did you listen to this guest speech? Or you are just one of those idiots, what we call in Liberia, radio without battery, who will just pick news, who will just listen to anything, and then go and carry it as their news or as their source or what they know. I ask you again, Musa Asa Berete, with this nonsense, this trash, this rubbish you wrote here, did you listen to this guest speech and analyze it? Because from the beginning to the end is very intense. It's not about America. The other reason she mentioned America is because America from day one, as we call it, is our founding father. If we want to put it that way. So we have the right to address her that way. And that's the same way the Ghanaian or Ghana will address Great Britain. Nigeria will address Great Britain. The French country will address France. The Portuguese nation will address Portugal. The German nation will address Germany. That's just the way it is. But to come and tell this girl she's not responsible, or there's a lawmaker. I'm going to tear him down too. I thought you know better than this girl. But see your worries. This reflect to you. Because she throw you a challenge of how you have failed Liberia. You people have been in government for record ages. 177 years, look at Liberia. What have America done for Liberia? In fact, let me say this. Say you guys are saying America have donated money to Liberia. America have this. Let me say this. America is corrupt. Now, come and tell me what America is a corrupt nation. And you know what? Anything we say, we back it off. America is a corrupt nation because she lies. She's a liar. Because she say she do not believe in corruption, right? But if she has been giving money to Liberia, as she claimed, why is she still giving it when those money that she's giving, it have never been fruitful in Liberia? Why will you keep giving money to government officials who are corrupt? And you say you are not corrupt, America. So that means America go and bribe these government officials and they take the money and put it in their own pocket. That's why America never questioned them about, look, we gave you this money for this development. Where is it? Where is the development for the Liberian people? Now, if America began to do these things, then we will say America is not corrupt. Because we know in the US here, if they give a money for a project and that project is not done, America will summon these people to the Capitol building to question them. America will take them to court to question them. Not only that, if they give money for a project and they take that money and do different projects, America will take them to jail and they will pay it. So then, how can America do the same thing in Liberia, give money, but that money have ye nothing, and they keep giving it every year? The point is, America do not donate to Liberia. They donate to government officials. They corrupt government officials. They bribe government officials. They do not donate to the nation. They donate it to men like Musa Hassan Belity. America do not give money to Liberia, because if they do, you will not keep giving it, and it is yielding to nothing. Liberian people are not seeing it. In America, if you're not careful, do not listen to people like Musa Hassan Belity. This is a different time period. I repeat. If you still want to have a relationship with Liberia, if you don't want to see yourself in a French position, if you don't want to see yourself like the Kenyan, if you don't want to see yourself like what is about to happen in Nigeria with the British, the youth, August 1st, what is about to happen? America, if you don't want to see yourself in a same situation in Liberia, do not listen to someone like Musa Hassan Belity. They will not help you. America, I'm telling you, they will not help you. Go back to your table. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But let's go ahead. Musa Hassan Belity say, we need to conduct audit everywhere and hold accountable anyone found guilty. But Musa Hassan Belity, this girl also mentioned that in the speech. Did you listen to that speech, you idiots? Did you listen to the speech? You are saying nothing that makes sense because this girl mentioned everything in a speech where she referred to you people. She said the lawmakers, and she gave points of what you guys need to do to strengthen up the nation, to stop the corruption. She said all of those things. She talked about corruption. Her whole speech from the beginning to the end was intense. It had been one of the best speech ever to be given on the Liberian Independence Day since 1847. Did you listen to the speech? You just try to repeat what they get. You try to make names. Who you are? This girl is far more brilliant and intelligent than you, Musa Hassan Bedete. You want to take credit for what she said, to change it around, to put it on? No, you in power. You're supposed to do your thing. You in power. The statement you put here is you have been addressed to your house and say, look, this is what the girl said. She challenged us. What can we do? What you wrote here, you idiots, what you wrote here is you have been said to your counterpart, to your colleagues, because this is what the lady spoke about. And you are repeating it, telling her, no, you in the house. You go do your other thing. She's not in the house. Then how can you tell her? How can you tell her we need to do an audit? We need to do this and hold those accountable. If this happens, I will be part of those who hold those accountable. No, you are idiots. She's not in the house. She's not a lawmaker. She threw you the challenge. Now you go to the house and go throw the challenge to your counterpart. You see how narrow-minded you are. You see how stupid you are. You see how dumb you are. Sending back the question. What she said, she put you out. What you guys need to do. And then you bring the same thing back, telling her, no, we need to do this. If we do this, I'll be part of it. Now you are there. You are in the house. You are part of it. That's what you need to do. Bunch of fools. Did they think what you wrote here is anything better that you wrote there to come against her? Come on, man. You belittle yourself. And then he said, I will stand with you in speaking justice and reparation. Let's start by investigating the legislature and all businesses. This girl went and started from 1847. That's why she started there with her speech. She's now putting out any individual government. And in her speech, she talked about the house, the lawmaking body, and she told you what you need to do. She has already given you ideas. She has already given you suggestions. She has already given you the direction on what to do. But because you do not want to listen or to take it, because you are a fair representative, you guys talk loud and nothing. Useless bunch of people like Musa Hassan Belete in our country. And then he said, put a stop to this nonsense. What was the nonsense that was said? You guys, as the lawmaker, need to put a stop to the nonsense of corruption, to the nonsense of being obedient, to the nonsense of signing, how they call it, or a concession agreement, because these are the things she spoke about. You guys need to put nonsense to the things you guys do and be a patriot citizens. Live and die for the country. You guys are the nonsensical people in the house. You are one of them. Musa Hassan Belete. Idiots. You want to talk about this girl? He went as far as saying, just as you unfairly criticize good, hard-working people at home, you are now taking it to the next. Oh, he's saying the girl criticized hard-working people in Liberia. Who are the hard-working people? Since 1847 to 2024, 177 years, Look at Liberia. Liberia is one of the poorest countries in the world, but one of the richest nations in the world. How can we be among the richest nation in the world, yet we are among the poorest country in the world? Make it make sense. Musa Hassan Belete. Make it make sense. When this girl questioned the authority and you say she's criticizing people home, because you guys are afraid. You guys do not want to take criticism. That's why that country is among the poorest. Because you feel you are above the law and no one can question you. When they question you, then it's bad. Then they hate you. Then they criticize you. Then you are not a leader. Musa Hassan Belete. He's saying enough is enough. But that's what this guy was saying. Enough is enough for 177 years. So she was even questioning the independence of Liberia. Are we an independent state? Are we an independent nation? Because look at Liberia. Are we an independent nation? 177 years. Where have we gone? Nowhere. Look at nations around us who just get independent in the 60s. Look at where they are. Nations are getting independent in the 60s. After Liberia get independent, 1847 to 1960. Do you know how many years in between them? But look at those nations. Those are the questions this girl was asking. And you idiots of a man called Musa Hassan Belete, who have robbed and looted the country, and you telling again, enough is enough. What do you know? You guys are the problem in our country there. I will play her speech so we can listen to it. My point has been made. But the point here is, if you think this girl said anything contrary to what is happening, what has been happening, then get ready for us, because it's just starting. It's just starting. Get ready for us. Because guess what? If you think this speech was more intense, man, I don't think, man. I don't think. If you think this speech was more intense, get ready for us.
That will outlive us? Have we taken full responsibility for our socio-economic transformation? My challenge to us on this Indefiant Day is to build back better. My challenge to us on this Indefiant Day is to build back differently. Now, I have traveled the length and breadth of Liberia's 15 counties and our 16th county of the diaspora. And one thing always rings true. Each and every one of us wants to live a life of dignity. Now, our methods of achieving self-respect and self-worth have not always been compatible, fair, or just. Yet we cannot build a new Liberia for all Liberians this year's 2016 until we all possess a basic level of well-being. Dignity must define us. This should be our creed, our mission, our vision, our roadmap, our North Star, our prayer, our central unifying core and ideal as a people. Dignity must define us. yearn for dignity. Those who were already here yearn for dignity. Liberians at home and abroad currently yearn for dignity. Dignity must define us. I propose a radical agenda for achieving this very lofty goal. First, we must reconceptualize and redefine what it means to be a Liberian. What does it mean to be a citizen in this post-war moment? Second, we must tackle the twin development challenges of structural violence and unfreedoms. How do we enable all Liberians to realize their fullest potential? And third, we must prioritize nation building as much as we prioritize state building. How do we build relationships between individuals and institutions of government to serve the collective good? I have plenty of ideas, a little time. So please give me a small chance, yeah? Reconceptualizing and redefining Liberian citizenship. In 2021, I published a book that investigates how Liberian citizenship has changed across space and time, and what implications this has for our development outcomes. I discovered that in the aftermath of any kind of upheaval or disorder, identities, practices, and relations between people fundamentally transform. From our founding as a nation state, to the indigenous wars of resistance, to the political rumblings of the 1970s, to the vile assassinations in 1980 and 1990 of two heads of state, which culminated in warfare, Liberian identities, practices, and interpersonal relations have fundamentally changed. Understanding why this change has occurred and how we cope with it now is the beginning of reimagining Liberia anew. So I used the unique backstories of the Liberians I interviewed at home and abroad in 5 cities, 5 countries, 3 continents to develop a framework for reconceptualizing and redefining what it means to be Liberian. I call it the Liberian citizenship triad. Shaped like a triangle, this triad has 3 points that move from the individual to how the individual interacts with her, his, government, and society. Point 1 on the triad defines Liberian citizenship as passive and identity-based. You are Liberian if you can claim birthplace and or bloodline ties to this country. This passive, identity-based form of citizenship is about claiming rights, regardless of your age, your gender, your ethnicity, your class, your sexual orientation, your ability, etc., etc., etc. Do you speak Liberian English and or a Liberian language? Do you identify with at least one of our counties as part of your lineage? Point 2 on the Liberian citizenship triad defines Liberian citizenship as active and practice-based. You are Liberian if you consistently, let me repeat that, you are Liberian if you consistently contribute to the country's socio-economic transformation in big ways as well as small ways. This active, practice-based form of citizenship is about fulfilling responsibilities, something that we often forget. Fulfilling responsibilities. Do you obey our laws, regardless of your stature? And I'm speaking here specifically here to some of you lawbreakers, lawmakers. I knew you would enjoy that. Do you pay your taxes? Are you actively involved in the political process? Do you build Liberian capacities? Are you willing to invest your time, your talent, and your treasure to build this nation? on the Triad defines Liberian citizenship as interactive, based on a set of relations between citizens and between citizens and the state. You are Liberian if you engage in healthy, I'm going to repeat the word, healthy interactions with other Liberians and with your government. Now, healthy interactions are defined as interactions that are neither abusive nor exploitative. This interactive, relationship-based form of citizenship is about building bonds. Do you hold yourself, your fellow citizen, and your government accountable? Do you offer constructive criticism when necessary and appropriate in ways that are not self-serving? These are the hallmarks of building a new Liberia for all Liberians. So, a reimagined Liberia is one in which we play right, we fulfill responsibilities, and we cultivate and maintain wholesome relationships with one another. Now, we can implement this Liberian citizenship triad by incorporating formal lessons about citizenship into our national curricula at all levels. By implementing a national youth service scheme to send graduating high school seniors who opt out of university to the counties for on-the-job training in the private, public, and humanitarian sectors. And by requiring anyone who assumes public office, whether appointed or elected, to undergo mandatory civics training. For elected officials, a prerequisite for national certification should be assets declaration and at least 10 hours of civic education. Appointed officials should complete training within 2 weeks of confirmation. Dignity must define us. I want you to repeat that phrase. Dignity must define us. Let's try that again. Dignity must define us. Tackling structural violence and unfreedoms. Now, for critical development scholars like myself, the main goal of development is to enhance well-being and reduce deprivation. Yet structural violence and unfreedoms, which involve institutions and structures that fuel inequality and injustice, inhibit individuals from meeting their basic needs or actualizing their fullest capabilities. Though less visible than physical violence, structural violence is systemic, enduring, and ultimately more dangerous. Indeed, the true test of a nation is its willingness to transform the structural conditions that render so many of its citizens hopeless and hapless. A reimagined Liberia intentionally seeks to reduce the unfreedom of poverty and the inequity of structural violence. Because the contrast between our haves and our have-nots is entirely too stark in this country. For example, over 50% of Liberians live in multi-dimensional poverty. This is not only unacceptable, but needless for a country that can boast of 177 years of sovereignty. We have the resources, both human and financial, to achieve our development dividends. However, we must change our economic model of extracting and exploiting finite resources and focus instead on building an industrial base for manufacturing and exporting finished products, such as steel rods from our iron ore, condoms from our raw latex, furniture from our timber, country cloth textiles, hand woven from our locally grown country. Now, some of these revenue generated from manufactured goods to expand freedoms, such as access to quality education for all. A reimagined Liberia rejects anti-intellectualism, develops critical thinking skills, and invests in lifelong learning from cradle to grave. When I worked in government over a decade ago, I can't believe it's been that long, we developed a capacity building strategy that aligns with our development needs. So, in addition to educating geologists and engineers and epidemiologists in our universities, we also focused on training electricians and carpenters and plumbers in our technical and vocational education institutes. This is a model worth replicating. Because everyone doesn't need to attend university to contribute to structural transformation. Having said that, as an assistant professor at the London School of Economics, I must stress that a reimagined Liberia requires an autonomous tertiary education sector that is fit for purpose. I must also insist that we shift our attention away from the extractive industries, which make us vulnerable to the vagaries of global capitalism, and instead focus on developing our creative industries. Why not empower our cultural and creative entrepreneurs so that the work of craftspeople, writers, musicians, visual artists, actors, designers, dancers is valued, protected through our copyright laws, and fairly compensated? Now, this brings me to Liberia's very extreme levels of income inequality. The unregulated accumulation of vast wealth amidst cumulative want in this country is not only obscene and callous, it is structurally violent.
Okay, folks. That's the video there. This video was done on the 26th of July, like just passed. I believe that was on Friday. That was Liberia Independence Day, and that she was the orator for the Independence Day speech, and that was what she said. So, what is in there to say, oh, she attacked America? What is in there that will make American diplomat to walk out of the Independence Day celebration, to walk out while the speech was still being given? What is in that speech? What is in that speech that made Americans to walk out, to leave? You know what? Those diplomats, those American diplomats, right? If they are serious, they can leave Liberia. I mean, come on, man. If they are serious that their speech was an issue, right? They can leave the country. We care the hell to do with them. They can leave. We don't want them there. We don't care. We don't want them there. The fact that they walk out, they are enemies. The fact that they walk out of a speech that had nothing to do with them, they are enemy of the state. We don't want them in Liberia. If they're really serious, they should pack their satokas and leave the country. Then we will know. We will know it's serious. We will know it was serious to them. They can leave the country. We don't care. After all, the American data have done nothing for Liberia. American data, the American pay corrupt official leader. The fact that those money have not benefited, have not yielded in the life of Liberian, will care less to do with that. The people who are worried are the politicians who receive those money. And that is why they are going against this guy, because it is the politician. It is actually the politicians who are going against this girl. because it is those politicians who receive the corrupt American money. Because before America operate in a country, and not just America, and you see, and these are the things when we say, they say we hate in America. Yes, because it is America that do business directly with us. And I repeat again, if you go to Ghana, the Ghanaian will not be talking about America, they'll be talking about the British, because it is British that do business directly with them. The British cannot operate in Ghana without corrupt officials. And that's how America operates. So if we are speaking of our own, we're going to tell America. The British cannot operate in Nigeria without corrupt government official. That's just the way it is. The French cannot operate in a French-speaking country without corrupt government official. What is happening in Burkina Faso? Do you see the French government working with how do you call it? With Assimi Goïta or with Abraham Traoré? No, because those governments do not want to be corrupt. So the French do not want to work with them, because the French do not want the Burkinabe, the Malian, the Chadian, right, to take 80% of their resources and give the French 20%. The French want rather to take 95% of their resources and give them 5%. So that's why any nation in Africa that is not corrupt, or those leaders are not corrupt, do not want to be corrupted, the French will not work with them. The British will not work with them. The American, Washington, D.C. will not work with them. That's just the way it is. And that's the facts. Did you not see America was talking about reinstating Bazoum? When Niger, the entire Niger said they do not want Bazoum in power, the citizens filled out stadiums in support of the joint government. What did America say? The joint government should reinstill Bazoum. When the people say we do not want Bazoum, because Bazoum was not for the people. Bazoum was a Western puppet who was serving Western interests. So when the joint government removed him in support of the people, the American government hated it. British, European Union hated it. And they told ECOWAS, we will sponsor you to go and kill another African people in Niger. And ECOWAS was about to do it. But the nation in the Sahel, who are now the AES, along with Algeria, said to ECOWAS, if you dare try it, you will meet with your demise. That's how ECOWAS pushed back. But ECOWAS was ready to take funding for America to go kill Africans, just to reinstill Bazoum, a corrupt government that the people did not like. So yes, so if we want to talk about Liberia and America relationship, we're going to talk about it else. We're not going to say Great Britain. We're not going to say France. We deal directly with America, just how the British deal, Ghana deal directly with the British, Nigeria deal directly with them. And the rest of the other nations deal directly with people that colonize them. People that they get independent from. That's the same way we deal with America directly. So yes, we will deal with America directly. So let's see a representative. This is one of the representatives who spoke the truth about what went on, about what the so-called idiot American diplomat did. Very disrespectful. Those idiots of a diplomat that came from America here, they disrespected our independent days.
That was the way we fought and things we do. She reminded us of cutting our salary. The lawmaker, the orator for the day, spoke to the president directly, told him how he was selected on the rescue mission, and told him in a short period of time, he needs to work because the expectation is high and the momentum, the morale is going down. But it doesn't mean it is the end. And the president sat down, listening, and clapped for her. She even spoke about the training issue, about the yellow machine. So I must tell her that she was wonderful. And let me tell you, all of the Independent Day I've attended, Lema Bowie's speech came first, and she also made my day today. That's how we should be. When we go on the landline to speak, we should speak to power that we must understand and make sure and work better. Let me come to the most disgusting and regrettable incident that took place. A sachet effects walking under our Independent Day celebration with our president seated, with our visiting president seated, with our Chief Justice seated, with our Speaker seated, and all of the Vice President, the Pro Tempore, and all of the citizens of Liberia. And she walked over our delegation just because this lady reminded us that how much we are always put America first. It's about time we think about ourselves. Did she lie? Our Constitution is a carbon copy of the American Constitution. Our flag is a pure replica of the American flag. Our everything that we do. Why were we saying the law for liberty brought us here? Didn't you meet people here that accepted you and united with you? What did she say was different? She just told us about time we think about ourselves. And for that reason, people that always say, oh, we must be tolerant, people that always criticize, oh, we must be nationalistic, people that always criticize, oh, we must be respectful to our nation. For example, the former ambassador Makrete, you over here, he criticized us and said lawmakers are people that are begging riches for themselves. And what? And feeding their own fellows. Put us against the Liberian people. That we were not doing nothing for the Liberian people, but we were only thinking about enriching ourselves. Did we get angry? Did any one of us speak to him? We should always accept negative feedback and make the best out of it and work towards it. So I have come to say I'm calling on President Joseph Newman Boakai for the country. If you want to be diplomatic, kindly write America to recall the ambassador, the sachet effect in a state of diplomacy, if that's what you want to do. For me, I will ask that she be sent all of Liberia by tomorrow. For disrespecting our country, for disrespecting our leader, for disrespecting the 3 branches of government, and for such act, Liberian, we cannot condone this again. On our 777, we were being disrespected as leader. I'm disappointed. It's regrettable that people, we are always seen as our leaders, as our people that will put their hands around, no matter how great was it. A sachet of affair will not work out of us. So it's regrettable. I'd say the president must act now to save our country, to restore our dignity, to restore the respect of Liberia that have been taken away from us by that sachet affair, by walking on her. And the most frustrating part, she didn't just walk for people to assume. She was brave to speak to the press, telling us how the orator should speak, how they should be there. Is this not what we're talking about? Are we always going to be micromanaged? Are we always going to not have our freedom of speech to talk what we want to say? To remind us about the ill treatment? I'm telling you again, members of the Fifth Estate, put me on record. President Joseph Nima Boakai, either you send that woman out of Liberia tomorrow, or in the spirit of diplomacy, you can write America to record the sachet affair for disrespecting the Liberian people. I thank you.
All right, so let me ask just one question. For me, what happens if President Boakai doesn't listen to your core as members of the legislature and also a very, very key player in our party politics. What will you do, Honorable?
I can tell you, President Joseph Nima Boakai he's someone that loves this country. He's someone that's very nationalistic. So this thing is not about only the president, it's about the country Liberia. So put me on record. If President Joseph Nima Boakai don't take this thing, when we return, I will put a communication on the floor that he will come and tell us why he refused to record, to ask the American government to record the Shasho affair. That I will do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. So
let me see if I can put out the so-called sachet affair or whatsoever they call Anna Christina, whatsoever. Let me see if I can pull her naive statement that she put here. So that's the United States Embassy Monrovia, Liberia, website or something. So let me see if I can. All right, I think this is it right here. So this is a statement here by the lady, right? The speaker. The U.S. Embassy released a statement regarding the speech that was given by the national orator, Dr. Roberta Ann Pillay. They also removed her image, so they took her image off. You see how naive? You see how naive these United States so-called diplomatic leaders in Liberia. You see how naive. This is exactly what the girl was talking about. These are the same thing that the orator said, that we have to re-examine our relationship with the U.S. Okay? We have to re-examine our relationship with the U.S. So after this, the U.S. went and removed, okay, her image, okay, from their Facebook page, because she was at their Facebook page, just how you seeing these people here, right? So that's the United States, how they call it, CIA, whatsoever Facebook page and thing. So so what I did here, so now this is what the lady said, the speaker said. She said, this is what she said. Now, that's the United States Embassy, wrote here as to why they left, right? And see the reason. Look. Oh God. All right. So according to them, she said the quote, the quote said the speaker. Their quote said, "True be told," because that's what the lady said, okay, in her speech. "True be told, the United States of America has taken more from us than we have received." So what did they want for the lady to say? For her to say, "True be told, the Liberian people have given more to the U.S. than the U.S. have received from Liberia"? Is that what they wanted to hear? So if she could have said that they was going to stay or they was going to walk and say, no, that statement is not correct. The United States, or Liberia have not received more from the United States than the United States received from Liberia. All right? Well, they want to walk out. And it is the truth. Liberia has received, the United States has received more from Liberia than Liberia receiving from the U.S. Like I said, just our deep sea coast alone. For the, Liberia does not have a submarine to use it at her deep sea coast. As we speak currently, the United States submarine is in Liberia, or not there. Okay? Currently, as we speak, the United States submarine is in Liberia, or not there. All year round, 24/7, day and night. Have the United States paid for it? Because it is on the soil of Liberia. If we want to charge the United States, do you know how many dollars, thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars the United States will pay Liberia on a daily basis to use our deep sea coast, Do you know how much the United States will pay? Yes, the United States have taken from Liberia more than Liberians have taken from us. Our iron ore, our gold, our timber, our law, our rubber. What you talking about here? Go and ask the grandchildren of Harvey Firestone. One of them they call 40 Firestone. We know them here now. We are researching. One of them they call Andrew Firestone. We know them. We have researched them. Go and see how much they make annually. But look at Liberia. Trillions of data they have taken from Liberia just in rubber. What have they done? Is that a lie? America have taken more from Liberia than Liberia have taken from America. In our case, in fact, let me make it clear. In fact, if they want, they can leave Liberia right now because America is a parasite. Oh, okay. We were saying, hey, y'all want to leave? We want you guys to leave. America is a parasite in Liberia to Liberia. America is a parasite to Liberia. In fact, she used a good word to say America has benefited more. America has received more than Liberia has received from America. Is that what somebody will say? Then you see it as a attack or any statement? Let me say it good. America is a parasite to Liberia. On Liberia. Then Liberia being a more parasite to America. Let me paraphrase it that way. Now, look at her reasons that she gave. This idiots called Christina Rodriguez. Idiots. This is what she said. Now, in fact, let me end the whole statement. So the orator said, truth be told, the United States of America have taken more from us than we have received. Liberia is nobody's stepchild. Is that a lie? Is that so? So they are telling us Liberia is America's stepchild. If that's how the American embassy think, if that's how Christina Rodriguez think, that Liberia is America's stepchild, because the orator said Liberia is not America's stepchild, is our mayor angry to leave? Oh, okay. Christina Rodriguez, Liberia is not America's stepchild no more. And Liberia will never be America's stepchild again. Now y'all can leave your satokas. Tonight, y'all can leave your satokas, Liberia, and come back to America and sit down there. Come look for a job. Come and look for a job and push cartoon. Come and push cartoon and go clean poo butthole. Come and go do it. You in Liberia there acting like a diplomat, getting money and you got a job and you're not here cleaning cartoon or cleaning people butt. So you want for Liberia to be America's stepchild. When the Petra say Liberia is no longer America's stepchild, that's what made you angry. Oh, but then you're going to get angry more because America is a parasite on Liberia and Liberia is no longer America's stepchild. And this is America reply. So American reply, right? This is what they say. If I'm not even going, let me see right here. Okay, they say in light of recent event at the Liberian Independence Day celebration, the United States Embassy wishes to address concern. What kind of concern? Stupid concern, idiot concerns, racist concerns, disregard for the Liberian people, disrespect to the Liberian people. Wishes to address concern regarding child D affair. Who cares about child D affair? Who cares? Get out of Liberia. Go to where you came from. Christina decision to leave the event. Oh, Christina, you are still in Liberia, right? You are still breathing the air of Liberia. Get the hell out of Liberia if you think you are serious. Get the hell out of Liberia. Christina Rodriguez, you idiots. Get the hell out of Liberia if it's so damn serious. Get the hell out of Liberia. We do not want you there. If you think you damn that serious, you stay in Liberia, you breathe the air of Liberia, you smell the air, you see the vegetation, you see the geographical location, how beautiful that land is. Get the hell and come to America, clean people poo-poo. You got a job in Liberia, acting like a diplomat. You got someone serving you. Come to America. If someone will serve you, if you will even get a job, get the hell out of Liberia right now if you think it's so serious. And then she went out saying, right, the United States and Liberia share a unique history. What is that unique history? Do you think we care about our relationship or our or research or that thing you can go put on Google? Do you think we are accepting that, oh, Liberia and America have diplomatic relationship? What is diplomat about the relationship between Liberia and America? We want you to tell us. Because there is nothing diplomat about it. It have always been oppressive. It have always been suppressive. Oh, go and read the core 2 centuries of U.S. military occupation in Liberia, resistant to compliance. Christina Rodriguez, go and read it. You stupid-headed figures. You think we care about you? Go and read 2 centuries of U.S. military occupation or operation in Liberia, resistant to compliance. Go and read it. Stupid. Consider Liberia in America. Oh, yes! We believed that before. We did not know that relationship, but we have come to understand that toxic relationship. Yes, Liberia and America have long-standing relationship, but it's toxic, it's oppressive, it's depressive. Okay, it's demonizing that relationship. It have never been to build Liberia. It have always been to plunge Liberia into more poverty and chaotic. Yes, America has sponsored all the coup in Liberia. America has been part of all the coup in Liberia. She has been part of almost all the chaos, the destruction of Liberia. That's the kind of relationship you think we don't know now? Consider Liberia, America have long, yes, they have long-term relationship, but they have always been one-sided relationship, and that is what the orator was talking about. We have to re-examine our relationship with the U.S. Is that wrong to say, get the hell out of Liberia right now? If it's so damn serious. And then she come and say the United States has a long history of providing foreign assistance amounting to at least 163 million annually. You see, this is what these people based on when they ready to act the way they act. Immediately. 163 million annually. What have the 163 million done annually in Liberia? Given to corrupt government officials? We don't care. It is those corrupt government officials that will not receive the 163 million again. We do not care, because as far as we know, we have not seen this 163 million being fruitful in Liberia annually. We have not seen it. What is in Liberia, Christina Rodriguez, that you can go right now? I challenge you to go in Liberia right now and point about projects that have impacted Liberia, roads, construction, hospital, this and this, that your 163 million annually, that we can see, that we see it. That we see the transformation, that we see where I have put Liberia. One of the Liberia is among, right, from 0 to 10. Liberia is among the poorest country in the world, from 0 to 10. Now, you can imagine how many countries in the world that Liberia is among from 0 to 10. Christina Rodriguez, You are corrupt. The United States Embassy is corrupt. The United States is corrupt. Washington, D.C. is corrupt because they keep giving corrupt money to corrupt politicians in Liberia to protect their interests. Because America, if you are not a corrupt nation, if you are not a corrupt entity, you will not give this kind of money to corrupt leader. At the end, nothing to show, and you are still giving this money to them. So we don't care the way we speak. Because this money, use it for America and start giving it to corrupt government, Liberian official, because we do not see it. Take it, keep it, put it in your school system, put it in your educational system, give it and increase the salary of American people. And start bribing politicians. Then at the end, when Liberians question you and you come around nonsense on your embassy website to say this is what we give to Liberia. No, you do not give it to the state, to the nation of Liberia. You give it to corrupt politicians. That's how America functions in Liberia, through corrupt politicians. That in itself, Washington, D.C. is corrupt. That in itself, Christina Rodriguez, you are corrupt. That in itself, the embassy of Liberia, of America in Liberia, is a corrupt embassy. That is why you guys are there for, to push your agenda. It is not there for mutual benefit or mutual building. Now you can get out of Liberia. We are done. Get out. If you're so damn serious. Folks, that's it. That is about Liberia today. We just want to address it. Because of time, that video, the speech is actually about, let's say, 47 minutes long. So we don't have time to keep breaking it down, right? To explain here and there. But the entire speech is intensive. It is not about America. Okay? It is only the ignorant who will say it is about America. They say Liberia independent day, they say America. People stupid. The speech was about Liberia independent day. The speech was Liberia independent day. Then he say it was about America. No, the speech was about Liberia. 47-minute speech. And then he said it was about America. So they get to 47 minutes to waste of breath to speak about America. When they get started from Haiti, that was a speech she gave from 1820. Okay? Because Haiti gave an independence 1804. And that independence came about the uprising of Haitian, okay, who fought for independence in the 1800s. All right? So they took her speech from there. You know why she took it from there? Because it was from that point. It was from that point of time. Okay? The rebellious slave, America took them and carried them to Liberia. The people that still call themselves America Liberian. It is not an identity. You are still saying you are slave. If today people in Liberia still call themselves America Liberian, you are saying you are slave because you carry the slave master name. And that's what the lady spoke about. By this time, you should have a heritage. By this time, from 1800, those generations have died, right? And you are staying in Liberia and carrying a white man name and you are proud. You are a slave. That's what she said. By this time, in Liberia, you should have at least a country that you are from. Not just that, a heritage like a tongue and all those tribes that you can speak. You have a name, and, not the colonial master name, not a slave master name to be proud of. She mentioned all those things. It was a reason she went down there to Haiti and brought a speech all the way to 2024. And then you come and sit down and say it's about America, it's about this. You better go learn your history good. You better go learn your history good. Because she's saying, and not because of Haiti, maybe the slave that was in America, in Virginia, they could not have gotten the courage. Because it is from the independence of Haiti, the rebellious slave they took to Africa, to Liberia today, it was from Haiti that they got the bravery and said, if Haiti A nation like this small and the population are not equal to ours. If they can fight for independence and they got it, and if they got freedom, we the slave in America, in Richmond, Virginia, we can do the same thing. That led, okay, to the repatriation of the rebellious slave today to Liberia. And the orator mentioned that she went into that. It is from that struggle, okay, when James Maroon, the assassination attempt failed. And that's how the repatriation of the rebellious slave went to Africa, today, Liberia. So if you are still in this current time talking about you are American Liberian because you carry the slave master name, because you want to maintain that classism, then you are a slave. And these are the things she was talking about. It should not be now. We should get over it and stop using our name. We should find a common ground as Liberian. You should be from any of this country. You should be, because as we speak, those people that call us American Liberian, they do not even want to speak any of their native tongue. Even the so-called Liberian, the so-called native that laid there, what some of them got the white man name just to find themselves in school, just to go to school at that time to air you. Some of them think because they carry the slave master name now, they do not even want to speak their native tongue. Not even the American Liberian now. What bad for me is even the native people, they don't even want to speak their native tongue. Because they want to feel part of that elitism, stupidity. And that's why the orator spoke about. Those things are the one bringing division. So the speech was not about Liberia. America. It was about Liberia and Liberian people. To rethink. That's what she said. We have to redefine. We have to reimagine our mind again. He once said the speech was about America, that America we should think about, that America we should redefine. Are you stupid? Sorry to say this, man. But sometimes some of you got taught, especially lawmakers, people are in offices, some of them, not all now, some of them, like Musa Hassan Belete, go and run nonsense. So this was the thing the guy was talking about. You ain't know Liberia history, you want to like you know what. Go and learn from this girl. She know the history. She know what she spoke about. She know what she's talking about. And we know what she talked about down there. That is why we can interpret her speech rightfully. And she will say, yes, that's true. That's what I meant. She did not explain to her what she meant. But because we know, we relate to it, we know exactly what she was saying down there. Anything we say about her speech, she will say exact, she will agree to it. I never met her, but she will tell, yes, what Frank is saying, that's what I meant. Because we know it. And many days you're going to deal with us because there are many speeches that are going to come henceforth going on. Something has sparked off. Consider. You can leave Liberia right now. You think we care? What have you guys done? We have not seen it. And it is the truth. You put money in corrupt politician pocket. Then you come and say we gave money to Liberia. They say, hey, it is a corrupt politician who will feel bad because you will not give them money again. And we will keep talking like this so you cannot give them money. And then that's how we will talk about nation building. That's how they will come to the table and we'll sit down and get. Look at the great points they got made in our speech. I mean, from the start to the end, it was all about land. She gave all great all direction, what we need to do as a nation, going forward, lawmakers. And then you come and say that you want to bash her when she's telling you what to do, when she gave you constructive criticism, and then you want to make it about America. You think America get time for you? America get a hell to do with you. Because anything America do is in America's interest. You think they care for you? It was in America's interest. That's why Christina Rodriguez walked away. It was not in her interest. It was in America's interest. That's why she walked away. Anyway, folks, we will keep talking about this. It will not die down. And y'all will not kill that girl's spirit. Because guess what? Our spirit is connected. Let me tell you now. We were in our building that day. We were not physically there to see us, but we were there. And I dare you try her. And she's not even going to fall by all of y'all for nothing criticism. She's strong. She's a Pan-Africanist. All right? So you're not going to do anything to her. You will not kill her spirit. And in fact, the more you criticize her, that just means her work is being done. She's working, and she will continue. In fact, that's how she's going to work more. So we want to see those diplomats leaving the country. You can leave now. You can leave and go. Come on, get out. Come on for that. Come on for that. Get out. Get out. You are intruder. Get out, you intruder. Get out. You are an intruder. That's why you walk out of our Independence Day celebration. You are an intruder. Get out. You alien. You are an alien. Get out, you alien. Thank you folks for holding on. This is WCC. I am your host, Frank Malba. This is the Revolutionary Repatriation Educational Lecture Series aspect of WCC every Sunday. I will see you all Saturday and then Sunday as well. We will be right here in this place where we are unapologetic of what we say because we respond to the obvious. Peace.